Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So we actually have the release date, or I guess not a release date, but the release time window anyways for the Walking Dead trailer. We know when it's going to drop. And so I want to talk about that, talk about who actually said it and go into detail with that. I actually think it's really smart what they're doing, but anyways, let's get into it. So obviously before we go any further, I do have to warn you for spoilers for the Walking Dead and all the usual stuff. If you're new here, make sure to hit subscribe if you do want more Walking Dead content like this, especially when this trailer drops. Like, I'm guessing it's going to be about a 4 to 5 minute trailer. It's for The Walking Dead Part 1, and I guess that's what they're calling it because it's going to be 3 parts, right? Like, there's 24 episodes. Usually there's a first half and a second half. I think they're calling it Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. And so the trailer that we're getting for the first 8 episodes is the trailer for The Walking Dead final season Part 1. And I love that because I know it's only 8 episodes, but it almost makes it feel like 3 seasons, right? 3 different chapters of this final season. And that's really exciting. Just make sure to be a subscriber if you're new to the channel and you want my Walking Dead content on that. Episode 2 of the podcast is also out. Episode 3 is going to be coming out this week. I actually want to get 2 episodes out this week if possible. I somehow want to shift the episodes over to Sunday because I want them to come out every Sunday. And so far, I think the first one I released was on a Thursday. Last week was on a Friday. I want to put them out on Sunday, so that's why I want to do 2 this week, like release 1 tomorrow or the next day, and then do another one for Sunday kind of thing, right? And you bet we're going to talk about the final season trailer. We're going to do reviews for every single episode of the final season in that podcast, talk about it at length, talk about our predictions. Like, that's what I'm so excited for, and for all of you listeners and stuff, because that's why I wanted to do it originally. I have so many thoughts. I have so much I want to say that's why I wanted to come out with a podcast, is I just wanted to talk and just give my thoughts on everything. And in videos, it's so hard to do that because you have like 10-15 minutes, and sure, I can ramble and talk for a long time, but it's just hard to make all of your points, especially in reviews. I come across that issue a lot. I want to talk about certain scenes a lot more, but if there's like different, like 5 different things that happen in an episode, if your video's 10 minutes, like, you can only talk about each thing for like roughly 2 minutes, right? But you're also going to have an intro to your video and an outro, so you don't get a lot of time to talk about very specific things in my videos. And so that's why I came out with the podcast. I just want to have this long form conversation, and also that's the most important part, talking with someone else about it. You guys always hear my opinions. It would be nice for someone else to challenge me on that, right? So I have to explain myself more, kind of thing. Anyways, thank you to everyone who was tweeting at me. I'm seeing here it was Claude Matra, if I'm saying your last name right. Claude Matra. Yeah, thank you for tweeting at me. Like, I really do appreciate it when all of you guys tweet at me whenever there's news, like trailers, everything like that. Like, it's really awesome that you guys actually think of me in that moment. Like, oh, I gotta let him know, because I'll get emails, I'll get these messages all the time, and I haven't had Twitter in a while, so I'm not used to people doing that. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys for that. Thank you for thinking of me in those situations, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have seen this. But I went to go do some research on this guy here, and there's a post here on Instagram, and I guess Dwayne Charles Manwiller, he's a cinematographer for The Walking Dead, and I've looked him up and everything. He's legit. This is a real account. Go on Instagram, go on his, I think it's his most recent photo. A fan by the name of Patrick R. Diaz asked the question, like, when will the trailer arrive? And he says, I think the Comic-Con trailer drops in 2 weeks. I saw it and it's really cool. So just hearing that right there, that is very exciting, because if he saw the trailer, what that does confirm is that the final season trailer is complete. I mean, he's a cinematographer. I guess a lot of people have seen the trailer, right? Like, I don't really necessarily, I don't know how it works behind the scenes, because I know a lot of people see a lot of things behind the scenes. It's not just like the really important people like Gimple or Angela Kang. It's a lot of the other, I mean, they are still important, obviously, for the show, like a cinematographer and all that, producers, they are very important to the show, but they all somehow are seeing this. I guess they're all friends, and so they just they show them this and that, right? They're all going to keep it a secret. They're obviously not going to like go and post a trailer online or something like that. So, but this comment here is exciting. Like, he says, I think, so obviously he could be wrong. And when he says in 2 weeks, I don't know if he's like, don't take him at his word for that, because he might just be saying it in general. Like, it's going to drop in about 2 weeks kind of thing. Like, it could drop maybe in 13 days on that Sunday. Or wait, is it Monday or Tuesday? It's Monday today, right? Yeah. Maybe it drops in 13 days on like the Sunday there, or maybe in 2 weeks, but like that Thursday, right? So it would be like 16 days from now. Just roughly in 2 weeks is when to expect it. And I'm excited for that. I think that is very smart for AMC to do, to release it then, because by releasing the trailer, then you have literally basically 2 months until the show starts. And that's what I always said about Comic-Con. I always said if they released it at Comic-Con, it just makes it really weird for promoting it, because you're releasing the first of the final season footage a month before the show premieres. Usually they want to hype it up for a few months, right? Like usually we have the trailer 3 months before the show comes out, and we're 2 months away. We still don't have it. So in 2 weeks, yeah, I like that. I'm excited for the trailer though. I do think we're going to have a narrative as to what is going to come in this first part. And my general predictions for the trailer are I might do a trailer prediction video, but I don't know. I'll see if I can come up with anything new, but I'll just kind of give my thoughts here on what I think we're going to see in the trailer. The narrative for sure is going to be we need to rebuild and fix Alexandria, right? Like it was torn down by the Whisperers, it was burnt down, and they need to rebuild. And I think that's why they're all on that scavenging, or not scavenging, but the supply run, right? That's why they went out there. They're going to go to that military base that Carol was mentioning, Daryl saw. Or maybe Maggie brought it up or something like that. But that's where they're going, to that military base. And that's why all of these photos here with them, like Maggie and all of them, like that's why that makes sense. That's why they're there. So they're going into a city. They're going to explore this entire area, try and find supplies. And I imagine that's how the Reapers kind of get brought into the fold, and also some Commonwealth stuff. I think what we're going to see in the trailer is 2 different narratives, which is the stuff going on at home with Alexandria. There's going to be some things with Maggie and Negan, because I feel like you have to bring that up. That's definitely going to be a big part of the first 8 episodes of the story. And some people could be getting sick of it, but they do have to play it out. Like we didn't get to see it, right, in those 6 bonus episodes, because those were just bonus episodes. They weren't going to advance any of that type of story. So now's the time to do it. Like ignore the bonus episodes ever happened, in a sense. Just think of where we left off in episode 16 of season 10. That's technically where the story ends. So in that sense, Maggie just got back, just saw Negan. So now things are going to happen, right? If it's like episode 18 or 22 or something and we're still dealing with this shit, then yeah, complain all you want. I'll definitely be in there with you. I'll be bitching about it too. So I think we're going to see that. And again, we're going to see some of that trying to rebuild Alexandria. And I think that's where the Commonwealth come into play. And I think we're going to see some scenes at the Commonwealth. But that's the big question I have about the general story over there. When do our characters go over there? Because once they go over there, that's where shit goes down in terms of civil wars, riots, not civil wars. It's not that big, but like you get a lot of rioting, and there's a lot. There's like this huge battle that goes on. In the comic, they never explored it a lot, but you see a lot of the visuals. Like it would go through a lot of panels, and you would see a lot of destruction. So there's a lot of rioting. It gets really nuts, and there's some really intense showdowns. So they're going to get into all of that, but obviously that stuff there is for the final 8 episodes. They're going to get into that rioting battle stuff. That'll be in part 3. In part 1, it's more of the introduction to all of it. But what I think they're going to show in this first part is Pamela Milton. And what I actually think we're going to get is the scene with Pamela Milton sitting at her desk. And I have this feeling that it's going to be like a dark room. She's going to be sitting there at her desk. We're going to have the Commonwealth troopers beside her. It's going to be the exact recreation of this scene here from the comic, or the cover here for what issue is that? 176, I want to say. I think it's issue 176, right? I'm pretty sure it is. I think that could be one of the last shots of the trailer, to be honest. I think that could be it, teasing that arc. There's going to be some new stuff. They might tease some deaths. I mean, it's going to be a pretty crazy trailer. And the cool thing is we're going to get more trailers, right? Like it's very possible that the way they're going to set up the final season is release like an official like 4 or 5 minute trailer for each part. Make each part big. And I would recommend it. If anyone from AMC or The Walking Dead is watching this video at all, please take that into consideration. Make a big deal out of each part. Label it part 1, part 2, part 3. Release a 4 to 5 minute trailer for each and make a big deal. It's your final season. Usually for a typical season of The Walking Dead, you would get like your 4 to 5 minute Comic-Con trailer. But for the back 8 episodes, you get like a 30-second teaser or something like that. And then maybe like another 30-second teaser for like the mid-season premiere. And that's good for a typical season, but this is your final season. I say make a big deal out of it. Like go all out. All the fans are going to really appreciate that. You want to feel like this is going to be really epic, because they did that with the Rick movie. Like, well, not the Rick movie, but Rick's final episode. I know that At the time, I did disagree with it because it kind of spoiled that it was his final episode. It never spoiled how it happened, and how it happened I was completely shocked by, but it did hype up this big event. The Walking Dead was so exciting. Like, if you think about it, I know it sucked because we were all waiting to see how Rick's story was going to end, but it did make it like this huge event. Like those 5 weeks there were nuts, and the build up to the premiere, it was so exciting and fun. And I think we need moments like that again. It was just such a fun time. It was so fun talking about it. I was so excited for every episode. I still am, but like just then, it was such a big moment. I think with your final season, make a big deal out of each part. Release a big trailer for part 1, and when part 2 comes out, make it like this big official, like part 2, The Walking Dead final season part 2. Release a 4-minute trailer, and then do the same thing for the final part, but do it at Comic-Con next year with a bunch of fans in attendance. Release The Walking Dead final season chapter 3 like it's a third movie in a trilogy, and release that 4 to 5 minute trailer. I think you could do it, and I think, like, honestly, this final season is going to be so epic. I'm so hyped, but I'm gonna leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.